Good morning. I am Kiran Raj. Welcome to the online classes on data structure. Before going to the data structure or algorithm, let us see the basic concepts of the flow charting. It is already there in first year, but let us revise that because flow chart is will make the understanding of the algorithm very easy. What is flowchart? Flowchart is a diagram that depicts the flow of the program. Okay, here we have shown the flowchart of the individual getting pay as per the hours. So what you are going to do? You are going to ask the number of hours he has worked, and you are going to ask for the pay rate that is provided. Okay, so what will be the calculation? Number of hours multiplied by the rate of pay. Okay, so that will be the calculation. Then you are going to display his gross pay. Here the start and end, they are the terminals or the ending points of the flowchart. So they are terminals. Then these parallelograms, they represent the input and output operation. You are displaying the message, that is output operation. You are taking the input, that is reading the hours, and you are reading the pay rate, that is input operation. Next again, you are displaying the message, that is output operation, and you are displaying the gross pay or gross salary, that is again output operation. They are represented in the parallelogram. Then the logic part or the your mathematical operation or calculation or process part, that is represented in the rectangle structure. So we have the rectangle structure here where you are calculating the gross pay. Then the basic symbol. So we have first symbol, we have the terminals, which is start and the end, which represents the starting point and the ending point of the flowchart or the program. Then the parallelogram, as I already mentioned, they represents the input and output operations. Process, which is represented in the rectangle shape, and they are mainly used to perform the operations, mathematical operations. Maybe you are assigning the values or logic operation, those things are applied here. Then four flowchart structures are there, but while coming to data structure, we are giving importance to only first three, that is sequence, decision, and the repetition. What is sequence? Sequence logic can be also called as sequential flow. Decision, it can be also called as conditional flow or the selection logic. Repetition flow can be also called as iteration logic. Case is mainly used in switch cases. When you have the switch cases, then only it is going to be used. So sequence logic, it is a step by step execution of the algorithm or the step by step execution of the program, that is sequential. While coming to the decision, depending on the condition, you are going to execute the statement blocks. So here either you can have single alternative or you can have the two alternatives or the double alternatives. While coming to the single alternative, you are only going to execute the statement block if the condition is true. Okay. While coming to the double alternative, you are going to execute the statement block A when condition is true. You are going to execute statement block B when condition is false. Then repetition is used when you want to execute the statement block number of times. When you want to execute the same statement block number of times, then only the repetition logic or the iteration will be used. So this is the sequence structure where a series of action is performed in a sequence. While coming to here, this is a decision structure where I am mentioning double alternative. For yes, you are going to execute this statement block, and for no, you are going to execute this statement block. Decision structure, again this is with the single alternative. Repetition, as I already mentioned, you are going to execute the statement block repeated number of times depending on the condition. As soon as the condition becomes false, then you are going to come out of the loop. But make sure that the condition is valid condition. If it is not valid condition or proper condition, then it may go under infinite loop. So this is the case structure. Only you can find it when you have the switch structure. Then the connectors. What is the main use of connectors? Okay, let us say that we have very long program. So that means flowchart will be also longer one, and I cannot fill the flowchart, or I cannot write the flowchart of the program in single page. So what I have to do? I have to continue in the next page, right? So when I am ending, after I have written half of the algorithm, I am ending, or I am connecting it to the connector. I am connecting it to the connector, that is circle shape. Afterwards, in the next page, when I am continuing with the same algorithm, I'll start again with the same connector, that is A and A. Let us say that I have the another part of the algorithm is there, which is again that is half stopped. Then that will be B here. Again, I am going to have another one B here. Okay. So this is modules. Modules or procedure, you are going to have this structure, or function, you are going to have this structure, where you are going to have the rectangle. Within that, you are going to have the extreme lines will be present there. So this is for used for the structure, sorry, this is used for the function, or you can use it for the procedure or the modules. So these are the different shapes that is used. Diamond is mainly used for the decision making. Arrow is used as the join relationship between the two symbols or two structure. Now let us see the preliminaries of the data structure. Let us go for the algorithmic notations. So before going to the algorithm notation, let us see what is algorithm. Algorithm is a finite step-by-step list of well-defined instruction for solving the particular problem. I have mentioned here finite. Why finite? Because the number of steps used for the calculation or the solving of the particular problem, you should be able to calculate. You should be able to know how many steps you are going to have. Okay. While coming to the formal representation of the algorithm, you are going to have mainly two parts. First one is having the step by step list of the instruction. Second part is you are going to have the description of the algorithm. So what do you mean by description of the algorithm? You are going to have the purpose of the algorithm. You are going to have the identification number of the algorithm. You are going to mention the different variables that you are going to use in the algorithm. So okay, so let us go with the example. So let us first understand the example. So you are going to create the program, sorry, you are going to create the algorithm for non-empty array data with n numerical values is given. Find the location and the value max of the largest element of the data. So what is the problem, or what is the program? They have given the array, and array name is data. They have given the array and array name is data. How many elements are there, or what is the size of the data array? The size of the data array is n. The size of the data array is n. Or number, how many elements are present in the data? N elements are present in the data. Next, what they have given? They have mentioned you have to find the largest element in the data array. You have to find the largest element in the data array, and then what you have to do? Then you have to display the location and the maximum element of the array. Okay. So before going to the algorithm, let us see the flow chart. I have the array data here, and I have the data elements 10, 20, 30 and 15. So what is n? N is the number of elements that is present in the array data. So number of elements is present is 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 elements are present. Okay. Now what is k? K is the counter. K is the counter used to keep track of the array elements. So first let us assign the value to the k. Let the k value be 1. K value be 1. So I am mentioning this is my first element. Now we are going to find the largest element in the array. First, what we are going to do? First, we are assuming the first element is the largest. Then we are comparing that with the other elements, right? Same thing. Let us do the same thing here. Let me make k is equal to 1. That means now k is pointing to this one. K is pointing to this one. K is pointing to the first element in the array data. What about location? Location is also 1. Okay. As I already mentioned, let us assume that first element is the largest one. So what is the first element? 10 is my first element. Okay. Now, whether the k is greater than n. Whether the k is greater than n. What do you mean by that? K is greater than n. That means k became 5. K became 5 and n is 4. So what is the meaning of that one? I already came out of the array. I have already came out of the array. Now let us check that. Whether k is greater than n, k is 1 and n is 4. Okay. So what I can do? I can continue the iteration. So what I will do? I will increment the k. I will increment the k by 1. So k will become what? K will become 2. K will become 2. So that means now k is pointing to the second element. Second element, that is 20. That is 20. Okay. Now let me compare. Let me compare the elements, that is max element and data of. So let me compare max with the data of k. What is k? K is 2. But what is data of k? Data of k is 20. Data of k is 20. What is max? Max is 10. So whether max is lesser than data of k? Yes. 10 is lesser than 20. So what I have to do? I have to assign 20 to the max is equal to data of k. So now max became data of k. That time what I have to make? I have to, so max become data of k. That means this become 20. That means location of the maximum element also become 2. Next I am going to increment the k again. Now k will become 3. Check whether k is lesser than or greater than n. Yes, 3 is lesser than n. 3 is lesser than 4, right? So I can perform this operation. So what I am going to do? I am going to do the check whether max 20 is lesser than data of k. Data of k is 3 now, that is 30. So data of 3, that is 30. 20 is lesser than 30. So what I am going to do? I am again going to exchange them. So max became 30. Now what will happen? Now the location value is also changed to 3. Okay. Now I am going to again increment the k to plus 1 again. So now the k will become 4. 4, whether it is greater than 4? No, it is not greater than 4. 4 is equal to 4, right? So I am again going to check max, whether the max is lesser than data of k. What is data of k? Data of k is data of 4. Data of 4 is 15. Max is 30, right? Whether it is lesser than 30? No. So I am not going to make any changes. I am going to keep location 3 and max is equal to 30 only. Next I am again going to increment the k value. Now k value becomes 5. Whether 5 is greater than n? Yes, 5 is greater than 4. So come out of the loop, then print the location of the maximum value, maximum element, that is 30. So this is the algorithm. Start. I am initializing the k value, location value to 1, and I am assuming that maximum element is the first element. Afterwards what I am going to do? I am going to increment the k value. Afterwards I am checking whether the k is greater than n. If the k is greater than n, then I am coming out and I am printing the location and the maximum value. If that is not the case, then what I am going to do? I am going to check whether the max is lesser than data of k. If it is lesser than data of k, then what I am going to do? I am going to change the location and maximum element. Then I am going to come back for the execution again. I am going to increment the k again. Then again checking the condition. Again checking whether the max is lesser than data. If it is not lesser than data also, I am not making any changes and directly coming back to the previous steps. Okay. So let us see the algorithm. Okay. As I already mentioned, algorithm is going to have the two parts. One is description part and another one is instruction, that is well defined instruction. So in the first part we have algorithm 2.3. Given a non-empty array data with n numerical values, this algorithm finds the location log and the value max of the largest element of data. So what they are mentioning here? They are mentioning, or they are given the description of the program. So what is the description of the program? They are using the array called as data with n elements, and what they are going to do? They are going to find the location and the maximum element in the data. Okay. So next step, that is first step, right? Now next step is the step by step instruction. Okay. So if you remember the algorithm, if you remember the flow chart, writing of the algorithm is very easy. What is the first step? What we have done in the first step? We have initialized k and location. Then we have make the data first element of the data as the max, right? So we are making that. Set k is equal to 1, log is equal to 1, and max is equal to data of 1. After that, what we have done? We have incremented the counter. Then what is done? Afterwards, we have checked whether the k, that is counter, whether it is greater than n. If it is greater than n, what is the meaning of that? You have already came to the end of the array. So that means you cannot check further elements. Why? Why you cannot check further elements? Because you have already come to the end of the array. So you are going to directly print the right. Right means printing. Okay, you are printing. You are printing location and the maximum element. Then you are going to exit. What do you mean by exit? Exit means end of the program or end of the algorithm. Okay, you are going to come out of the program. Now, if this is not the case, that is k is lesser than or equal to the n, then what you are going to do? You are going to compare the maximum element with the data of k. At the beginning, data of 1 is compared with the data of 2, right? Because we are assuming the first element is the maximum element, then you are going to compare that with the data of 2. Okay, if the max is lesser, then what you are going to make? You are going to change the location and then you are going to change the maximum element. If that is not the case, then what you are going to do? If max is greater or equal, then you are keeping as it is. You are not making any changes. After that, what you have to do? You have to go to the back to the step 2. You have to go back to the step 2. Why? Because now k is only 2 at the beginning, right? Then you have to go to the third element. So where the incrementation is done, we are going back. Then again the conditions will be applied. So this is the algorithm of this particular problem. Okay, now let us come for the certain terminologies. Steps. The steps of the algorithm are executed one after the another, beginning with step 1. Beginning with step 1. Okay, so you are going to have the step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, like that. Okay, now control. Control, that is control of the execution, it can be transferred from one step to another step. But when you are controlling or when you are transferring the steps, you are going to use the term called as go to step n. For example, here, see here. So the first one step, you are going to have this step. So step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 and step 5. It will be in continuous number. Then the control. So here the control is from one step to another step, one step to another step. But in certain cases, we can jump from one step to nth step. We can jump from one step to nth step, or we can jump from n step to nth step. Okay. So what you are doing here? That time you have to mention go to step n. N is the step number. Okay. So what we are mentioning here? From the step 5, I am jumping back to step 2. So I am mentioning go to step 2. It can be backward jump or it can be forward jump. So it will work in both the cases. Okay. Next is exit. As soon as the exit is executed, that is the end of the algorithm. We can have the several statements in the same step, but when you are having the several statement, we are going to separate them by the comma. We are going to separate them by the comma, and the last one is separated by the and symbol. Okay, and the execution is from left to right. It is only from left to right. As I already mentioned, when the exit is encountered or it is executed, that means it is the end of the algorithm. Next is comments. Comments is enclosed in the square bracket and they shows or they represents the purpose of that particular. Here in the step 1 we have the comment that is initialize. So I'm doing here, I'm initializing the data members. In the next step I have the comment that is I'm incrementing counter. So I'm doing, I'm incrementing the k test counter again. So I'm testing the counter, comparing and updating, repeating the loop. So these are the comments. Then the variable names, as you already seen, the variable names that is used in the algorithm will be always be in capital letters. Whether it is max, whether it is data, or whether you are going to have the counter, or whether you are going to have the subscripts, everything will be in the capital letters. Okay, then the assignment statement. While coming to the assignment statement, you are going to have the colon followed by the equal to symbol. You are going to have the colon and then you are going to have the equal to symbol. So here we have max colon equal to data 1. That means what? The value present in data of 1 is assigned to max variable. Input and output. While coming to the input and output, they are the statements that you are going to print or the values that you are going to receive. While coming to the input, that means you are reading the value from keyboard or any mouse click or anything, right? Like that, right? So what you are mentioning? You are mentioning read colon variable names. For example, if I am reading the pay, reading the number of hours, then read colon number of hours. If I am reading something like rate per pay, then read colon rate per pay. Okay. So while coming to write, write is the displaying of message, that is the output operation. Output operation. So you are displaying message. Here I can do something like write log comma max. So I am displaying the location and the maximum element, right? Or I can also mention something like messages like write input or enter the maximum pay, enter the number of array elements. So that is also fine. So you can write or you can write print max, print log, that is also fine, but you should have the colon. Procedures. So what is procedures? We have seen in the flow chart. Procedure is a sub algorithm. When you are going to have sub algorithm, when you want to have the large big program, so we can create the procedures or the function. For example, you want to calculate LCM, right? So I can have the separate procedure or the function to calculate the HCF, then I can club them together. Or let us say that I want to calculate the maximum pay. In the main function, let me only have this one. Let me only read the number of hours and the rate of pay and displaying message. But let me have another function that is calculating pay. Okay, that calculating pay is the procedure or the module or it is a sub function. Okay, next, identifying number. Every algorithm or procedures or modules, it is going to have the identifying number. Let us see what is identifying number. So this is algorithm 2.3. What do you mean by algorithm 2.3? This is a third algorithm present in chapter 2. Okay. Let me say that I am having the procedure. Then I am going to write procedure 2.3. What is the meaning of that? It is a third procedure in chapter 2. In chapter 2. For your examination, you don't have to write the chapter numbers and other things. Since let us say that this is your first algorithm in your exam paper, then what you have to write? Algorithm 1. Next algorithm you are going to encounter will be algorithm 2. Next algorithm you are going to encounter is algorithm 3. Let us say that after 3 algorithms you have encountered a procedure or module. Then what you are going to write? Procedure 1. Thank you.